Hi, I'm Maria Ingold. I'm here at Connected Media IP at NAB 2018. I am here with Deepakjit Singh, who is the CEO of Amagi.
Yeah,
So, welcome and thank you so much for being here.
my pleasure.
How are you finding the NAB show so far?
It has been quite active this far, and it seems like there's a re-emergence of the content distribution and the television industry. A couple of years ago, everybody was being pessimistic about
Yeah.
the TV industry is going down, and how is the content industry going to come up and all that stuff. This year, one is finding that re-emergence again taking place.
So, you do cloud-based broadcast and you do targeted advertising. Can you take me more through what you do?
Yeah. The couple of things one needs to remember always that there is more content being produced today than it was 10 years ago.
So true.
There is more content being consumed today than it was 10 years ago.
Absolutely.
Then how can somebody say the market is going down? So market has to go up. Now, where the market is shifting to is the content which is being consumed is I want to consume it, what I want to see, and I want to consume it at the time I want to do it. So that is a major shift. Now, with the cloud-based technologies and the localization and targeted advertising and the targeted content distribution, that is made possible. And Amagi has spent and is investing millions of dollars in that technology and the first time introducing artificial intelligence and machine learning into this industry.
Yeah.
Now, if we do that, we are making it more cost efficient for the consumer and for the broadcaster or the distributor of the content or the owner of the content to get the content to the end user. That is where we are spending a lot of money, and that's how we are seeing a growth year on year. On top of it, being in the cloud and being in a very, very robust environment, we are also putting a lot of money into what we call the robotic distribution. In traditional sense, you had the pods, you had all those things, but now we are putting money into making that in a robotic fashion so that you are having a 24/7 operations, you are having 4 nines or 5 nines capability, and you really don't require human intervention. So that is the whole innovation we are up to. So cloud is an easy term, but cloud also needs to be defined more specifically.
Yes.
It can be
absolutely.
private cloud, it can be public cloud, it can be any form of that. And the targeted advertising. Because we are going to an extent that you are seeing the advertising on a device which is the advertisement is appropriate to that device. So you could be watching your show or your content on an iPad. So
Yes.
you're getting a particular advertisement which is relevant and possible and looking the best on an iPad. Family ads are for the family TV times. So that's where the technology we have spent money on, that's what we bring to and it is not that this is the first time, we are evolving the technology. The technology we developed was about 5 years ago, and we have evolved it today to a complete machine learning and artificial intelligence.
So, I know you talk about as well a lot about cloud, specifically relating to our industry, and you're talking a lot about artificial intelligence as well. Where do you think people should be adopting cloud? And how do parts of the world which really struggle with internet connectivity how do you deal with those adages? And how do you suggest they deal with those adages and use cloud?
This is a very interesting question, and it's a reality of life also.
Yes.
You get countries where internet and fiber is very, very well developed. You literally have countries where you have got fiber to your house. So bandwidth is not an issue. Then you have countries where there is practically no internet at the house.
Yeah.
You have still the cable running on the treetops and entering a house. Believe me, that's a reality. And I go
I've
to those
seen it.
countries. I see those countries and I go to those places where that's how a signal is delivered.
Yeah.
Now, the way we have developed the technology is you have a box, and we have more than 10,000 of them in the field in those sort of countries. You have this box at the head end.
Okay.
And this box is connected through a drip feed from a satellite.
Okay.
So you are localizing the content the way you will find it in the best of the cities with fiber coming to our house, an equal level of the localized contents and targeted contents, you will find it going to the homes where there is no internet. Then comes the event of where you have the mobile phones.
Yes.
Now we can drip feed into a mobile phone head end so that a content goes on a very little bandwidth till that particular point and then gets delivered to your television in a high resolution.
Yes.
Even an HD content could get delivered and we could drip feed an HD content. So that's where we are coming from. We are catering to people and catering to markets which are developing markets and catering to the localization of the content and the advertising and all the areas in the developing world also. Like what I said, we have more than 10,000 boxes in the field. In one country, we have got about 10,000 boxes. We're shipping it out to other places. This technology is proprietary to us, and we have the patents for it. Typically, you're like when you're spending millions of dollars in developing it, you want to patent it also.
So is that what you would class as your key differentiator
Yes,
as well?
yes.
Okay, that's great.
So we are in both the types of the markets, which are developed markets
Yes.
and the developing markets.
Okay, that's wonderful. All right, so you have actually been in this industry longer than me, which is a very few select people. And I think that's wonderful. What do you think's going to happen?
In my opinion, like when I started working in this industry, you will buy a product and you will actually say whether it will last 7 years or 5 years.
Yes.
Right? You could go to your finance department and say, I will depreciate it over 5 years. And they would accept it. Then the period became shorter to 3 years. Today, the change in the industry is so quick that the new technologies and the new features are coming every 6 months. So that is a fundamental change. We used to come to NAB and say, this is the product which we have and this is the product of the future.
Yes.
I could get away with saying that next NAB we will be showing a prototype. 10 years ago, 15 years ago, I could get away with that. Today, if you come to our stall, our booth, what we have done is we have divided our booth into future zone and the current zone.
Oh, interesting.
And the way we are announcing it is what we are showing in the future zone would be available by IBC. And we will do it in IBC, future zone would be available by NAB next year.
Right.
So the technology and the features are coming out in 6 months. The change is coming so dramatic. So that is one thing which everybody has to get their arms around. And that is a learning process where a lot of the previous generation CTOs have to start to realize. They could have a technology and be comfortable with it. Today, the box is outside the box even the next day when you develop it. And the comfort zone is no longer the comfort zone.
Yeah, very true.
That is the change which is happening in the industry, and that's where even in our company, we are focusing on that particular change. Another particular change which, like when I took over as the CEO of Amagi, I have tried to bring that changes. If you take an average age of the CTOs in the broadcasting industry or average age of the employees in the broadcasting industry, it is pretty high, right? So what we have done is we are trying to bring the young kids from the college straight into this
Yes.
industry and take their inputs, not tell them how this industry works.
That's a good plan.
And we have starting to say, you tell us what it should be. So our learning process is from them, right? So we are more and more having, like employees which are born in 1990 onwards.
Yes.
Right?
Indeed.
And as the principal, we are saying to the HR, if you want to hire a person who was born before 1990, you better justify why you need that person. We're turning the pyramid on the head.
Well,
That's what we are
yeah.
delivering.
That sounds good, and I'm glad to see we are bringing both our expertise and bringing new ideas into the future. So thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you very much for having me here.
Yes, and we look forward to welcoming you back next year. Thank you.
Definitely. Thank you.